if you do one thing each day, let's have it be establishing good posture. This is a practice we like to call stacking our joints. So we want to start with our feet 6 inches apart. You can measure by making 2 fists, bringing them in between your feet. Now you want your feet to be parallel, which for many of us might feel a bit pigeon-toed. The outsides of our feet should be parallel. And if you were to draw a line from your hip bones, those are those 2 things, all the way down, they should land at about your middle toe or maybe your second toe. So we've got our feet looking like train tracks or the number 11. Now flex your toes so they come off the ground. You might already feel an engagement all the way up your legs into your thighs. That's great. We want to hold on to that engagement throughout this entire practice. You can relax your toes down, but try to imagine that you have 3 points of balance under each foot. 1 under the ball of the big toe, 1 under the ball of the pinky toe, and 1 at the center of a heel. So you make a tripod with each foot. Go ahead and bring your toes back up. You can roll around on those 6 total points. See if you can distribute your weight evenly for all 6. Bring your toes back down. Then your knees should hover directly over your ankles. If you're hypermobile like I am, you might want to keep a gentle bend in your knee for that nice stacking alignment. Re-engage your thighs. If you've got something like a yoga block or even a rolled up towel to place in between your thighs, go ahead and squeeze it. If you don't have anything there, squeeze it anyway. Imagine that you're squeezing a block. Good, now the pelvis. This is this whole structure right here. So a lot of us have a tendency to either splay outward into what we call a duck butt or slouch forward into sort of a Steve Urkel type position. What we want is to have the pelvis neutral. So take both hands, place them in front and back, and maybe play around, see what feels normal. It might not feel normal to have a totally neutral pelvis at first. That's okay, that's why we're practicing it. If you were to imagine that the pelvis was a bowl filled with water, you wouldn't want your water to fall out front or back. Great, now our core. Our core is this whole midsection. It's not just 6-pack abs. It includes that, but it's more than that. It's sort of a 360-degree cylinder. The core is what protects all of your organs inside. So we want to engage that. Go ahead and flex your stomach like someone's about to punch you in it. We're not going to. Good. Back off slightly. We want about 80% core engagement, and that means in the back too. So think about lengthening the core as well as sucking it in. Notice whether your ribs have splayed out as a result of that, and then try knitting them in so your ribs hover over your pelvis. Good. Now we want our shoulders nice and broad with our ribs still tucked in. But imagine that your collarbones, these things, are smiling. Place your hands down by your sides, palms faced open to encourage the shoulders to broaden. And then the last thing, we want our chin, which for so many of us juts forward, we want to bring it back. So go ahead and take your fingers, push your chin back. You might feel like you're making a double chin and might feel super unattractive, but that's okay. So many of us, for whatever tasks, whether it's playing an instrument, driving, texting, tend to hold our head forward. And we want to start practicing bringing it into alignment. So our ears should hover over our shoulders. Lastly, think of growing tall through the crown of your head. This might feel super strange, way too active, but this is how it feels to stand well. We're going to review it, but right now just stand here, maybe close your eyes, take a few breaths. As you're breathing, imagine what it would be like to stand well like this while you're playing your instrument or making music or doing whatever it is you do in